Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this morning, I'm joined by Maria Morgan, who's joining us from Ireland. And she runs a business called Esker Fields. And we'll have a little chat about that business, networking and pivoting during the lockdown, that sort of thing. How are you doing today, Maria? You okay?
I'm doing very well, Mike. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Ireland, so I'm having a really good day.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yes, it's a bit of sunshine coming through the window at the moment. For me in Wales, which is rare. It's been very rare this summer.
Same with
So
us.
I'm looking forward to getting out on my bike because I'm having a bit of a relaxed day today, being bank holiday. It is still in the UK. I know it's not in Ireland. So I'm wrapping up about 1 o'clock. I think I'm going to have a half day. So I'm going to get out on my bike then and enjoy the weather. Um,
That's
so
good. Yeah, I had my walk this morning, so I'm not maybe as active as you, but I like the walk.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. It's good to get out and enjoy nature and the weather, and I know it's good for the mind and all of that. So tell us a little bit about Esker Fields then. Tell us a little bit about what you do. I know you've done some changing and some pivoting during the lockdown as
Yeah.
well. So just tell us a little bit about the business and how you've got to where you've got to.
Well, Mike, I suppose Escoffiel's, yes, has completely changed and, reinvented itself during the lockdown. Initially, I set up my business. I have a holistic business doing aromatherapy, Reiki, bioenergy called Essential Healing. And I started that in September 2018. And during that time, because I have a passion for aromatherapy and essential oils, I started making uh, products, creams, hand creams, foot cream, shower gel, body oils, facial serums, that kind of thing. And got them tested. And the first Christmas of 2018, I went to a local Christmas fair. It was horrendous rain. The rain just was torrential. And I thought, there's no one going to be at this, there's no one going to come. And I packed up the car. My husband said, where are you going with all of that products? There's no way you're going to sell the half of them. And I says, oh, I know, but sure, I'll aim high and we'll see how we go. And I sold out that.
Oh,
I couldn't believe it. So that gave me great confidence, and it gave me an awareness that I had an ability to sell, which I actually didn't know I
yeah,
had. And so the plan, fast forward, I had been, last year I had been going to all of the Christmas fairs and all fairs that I could think of. And I was finding that more and more people that had bought the products the year before were coming back. They, was getting a lot of compliments for them, and people were really finding them very useful. And so the plan for 2020 was that I was going to go to everywhere I could think of, every fair I could think of, all around the country. I had booked up right up till May or June. And then obviously COVID-19 came, and that put paid to that. So after a week or two of saying, well, and had to close my other business and everything. So everything was shut down. I says, now what am I going to do? And one of the things I realized that was the products were really good. I knew that. That was one thing I absolutely knew, that the products were top class, they were really good, that they, heal the skin, they nurture the skin, but most importantly, they made people feel good, because that's the power of essential oils. They work on the physical, the mental, and the emotional, the whole person. So they made people feel good. But I realized that the packaging and the branding and all of that was weak. So that's what I did. I changed the name, and I was putting right out. I'm a great one believer there, Mike, of when I'm looking for something, I put it out to the universe. So I said to the universe, will you please get me a name for my products and make it obvious? Don't be subtle. Hit me with a ton of bricks with this. Don't be subtle. So it was tying with different names and asking people. And where I live in the heart of the country. I live on a dairy farm. My husband is farming. So when I'm making the products, I'm looking out at beautiful green fields and little calves and cows, and just seeing the seasons. And the name of my house is Eskerview, because I look over a hill called Tully Esker Hill here in Drogheda. And one day I'm making the products, the sun is shining, and I'm looking at little calves, little frolicking. And suddenly it came to me, Escoffields. And that's how the name Escoffields came out. So in the months of lockdown, I have got a new logo, got a new name, built a whole new website, and really just started putting the whole products into a package that was letting me down before. And, I really have to say, I have never been as busy, even though my business had closed, because I was doing something and moving forward with my business. It really invigorated me and my business and how I look at my business now. And so that's really in a nutshell where I am, Mike.
Yes, good. And obviously you've embraced technology because you've had
Yes,
to,
yes,
and technology is there to make life easier for people and
yes.
to make it better. Really, that's what technology exists for. It wouldn't be invented or created otherwise. And
Mhm.
so, in a way, sometimes this lockdown is, in my opinion, has been great for a lot of people. I've spent the last 8 years working from home. If you like working with people who don't or didn't embrace technology, trying to get them to embrace technology. That was part of my job, part of my mission. So, lockdown has been wonderful for me to see so many people forced into doing something that then has been to their benefit, you know?
Yeah,
And ultimately now, instead of having to just keep yourself to Ireland and do all these fairs, now you can reach the world. You can,
yeah,
the people out there now who are going to fall in love with your product that would never have got to see it otherwise.
yes,
And it's all about now engaging with social media, building a tribe, they call it, building
yes,
a community, having a community group on Facebook, all these sort of things. Don't know if
yes.
you're there now or
Well,
not.
that's the plan now, Mike. That initially was getting the website right and getting it built. So
Yeah,
that's done. Now it is exactly. So I have to embrace Instagram. I
yeah,
am on Facebook. I have a Facebook Escoffields page and
yeah.
Essential Healing with the other.
And
Um,
a group as
and,
well for
and
people into that sector, so a holistic group or a
yeah,
health and wellness group or something like that.
yeah,
Escoffields well-being group, or or essential healing group or whatever. Yeah,
yes,
build your little tribe up, get them then
yes,
to like the page. Yeah.
yes,
Also, you should be on Instagram because you got product, and so it's very
yes,
image based. You
yes,
also should be on Pinterest, which is more for images as well. It's for people collecting, things for like fashion or for
yes,
weddings and things like that. So,
yes,
so these are all the next things to embrace.
yes,
And
yes,
once you start building up your tribes and your community and your followers, then once they get to a certain volume, if they like the project and keep coming back and repeating order, you'll have you'll have a big community of people who are regularly visiting you, and
yes,
you can put your new products in. And because obviously my guess is, with your creativity, etc., you'll keep developing new products and different styles and different, just ranges, different size pots, different, all that sort of stuff. And
yes,
once you've
yes,
built those communities, they're basically places that you can advertise for free. Yeah, anything that you're doing, like
yes,
so, and you can build up a like-minded people to share their products and services in the
yes,
community as well, so that they attract more people to the community. As long as it's complementary and there's synergy, they all fit in
yes,
together. And we both know lots of other people in that sort of sector. So, if you can sort of build a community of multiple contributors to that community,
yes.
and it's not just all down to you, and more people will come in, similar to like what John's done with the Health Hub,
Yeah.
with the
Your host Academy.
Holistic Academy, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I network in somewhere in Wales as well, where they got the Health Hub Academy. So
All right.
that's the one popped out when I met the other one. But yeah, and those sort of portals as well. The more you can engage and put your products on places like the Your Holistic Academy, plus also I've got a contact for someone at the Health Hub
Oh,
Academy,
lovely.
and it's
Yes.
all based around health, well-being,
Yes.
holisticness. The more places you can reach out and put your product in, and the benefits of your product and all of that, the more places you're going to come across
Yeah.
you, because the internet's a massive place. There's millions
Yeah.
of people on there, and there's so much going on that you've got to
Yes.
sort of shout louder, if you like. You've got to
Yes.
sort of be
Yes.
heard amongst everyone else, and that's the next challenge now. Is
Yeah.
once you have all of these tools,
Yes.
community tools for your tribe and your fans and your followers and your customers to congregate, you need to just, increase the amount of people who can see where that congregation takes place. And that takes a bit of time, but
Yeah.
it can happen organically, or it can be a bit pushed, depending
Yes.
on how you
Yes.
get on. But
And that's really where I'm at now at the moment. Like, I mean, as to say, the website went live last weekend, or just the weekend before last.
And what's the web address?
It's www.eskerfields.ie. So it's eskerfields.ie.
Yeah,
And
we don't need the W anymore. Everyone knows now.
Everyone, that's what they're saying to me.
Because lots of people still do make the mistake, but I always say, get it in your head, just eskerfields.com.
Yeah,
When you're
.ie.
typing it,
.ie. It is.
.ie, sorry, .ie.
Yeah.
And when you're typing it, etc., or when you're talking about it, it becomes easier, especially if you put it in your marketing.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
if you put it in like infographics or flyers or anything like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't take as much space, and it looks cleaner.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what is lovely at the moment now, Mike, is that people are starting to give me testimonials for my products.
Yeah.
And I suppose what makes Eskerfields products unique is that there's such, as you said, it's trying to get visible above all of the others, because it's a very crowded marketplace.
Yes.
And there's lots of different brands and bigger brands and more well known than me. But I suppose what's unique about Eskerfields is that the products actually heal, soothe the skin. Not only do they do that, moisturize the skin, they actually make you feel good, and they make such a difference. Like, I had a lady that came in to me who had been suffering from contact dermatitis for about 7 or 8 years. She actually had to give up her job as a carer because the latex gloves was affecting her hands. And she had been coming to me for treatment, but she used the hand cream. And her hands were so bad that at one stage, she used to have to wear cotton gloves. She wouldn't actually shake hands with anyone because she was ashamed of her hands. She has tried every single cream known to man, had gone to dermatologists, had bought expensive creams. People had brought her creams from, maybe France, lavender creams. She used mine, and she was so excited. She keeps sending me photographs of her hands. And she came back last week, and she says, Maria, you actually don't realize the difference this has made to my confidence, my self-esteem. Her brother had died, a couple of years ago, and she says, I kept my hands like this because I didn't want to shake hands with people because I was ashamed, because somebody had said to her one stage, she shook hands, and the man said, Jesus, Mary, you must be working very hard because her hands went so rough. She says, I know he didn't mean anything, but that just destroyed me. And she says, I can't believe the difference. She says, this is my miracle cream. I'm calling it my miracle cream. So it's wonderful when you hear stories like that where people, because your skin, if you have a problem with your skin, sometimes it's very visible. And, when you get something that works, it makes such a difference. And that's the beauty of, Eskerfields. They heal the skin and they nurture the skin, and they can, have such a huge effect on the person. Huge.
Yeah, so what I would be doing now as well, okay, is you can go onto a Zoom call, you can press record, and you can actually talk into the camera and to yourself, yeah? And then at the end, the video comes out onto your laptop, and you can put that into YouTube.
Yes.
So if, for example, you went on with a different product every day, or you did it on a Monday for the whole day, and you went on with the product, described it, spun it around, told the people how much it costs, told them what it's made from, told them what it does, what it treats, etc. Yeah. So if you did that for every product that you had, then you'd have like 10 videos, say, or 20 or however many, which you can then upload into YouTube. You can put them on Facebook, you can put them on LinkedIn, you can put them in Twitter, you can put them on Instagram, you can put them in TikTok, which is a global social media. So you can put them all of those places. So those videos can be posted everywhere under the hashtags, things like health, well-being, essential healing, all
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And then once they're out there, people will find them because they'll be
Oh,
looking for,
okay. Yeah, that's something I
essential
could do.
healing. Yeah,
Mm.
that's something that's quite easy to do. But you also could do a dual call like this on Zoom.
Yeah.
You can get that client on, yeah, and you can ask her if it's okay, obviously to
Yeah.
film it. You
Yeah.
just press record, have a chat like we are now. So most people are used to Zoom these days, so it's not difficult. If you'd have asked
Yeah.
them to go in front of a camera a long time ago, they'd have been frightened because it's a camera
Yeah.
and it's something
Mm.
different. But now it's just a Zoom call, everyone's used to Zoom calls. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
happens to be a recorded Zoom call, yeah?
Yes.
And if you
Yeah.
had her to tell you that, what you've just said then, if you got her to express that to her, tell her all the different things she's been through in the past, all the different treatments she's tried, how much money she spent, how it didn't work, what it made her feel like, how then she bought this product, what that made her feel like, how that was, changed her life, etc. You put a video like that under the right heading on YouTube, yeah, and on social media, something like, um, if she quotes within her testimonial, to me it's a miracle cream, yeah,
Yeah.
and you could take out miracle cream as the header because
Yeah.
that's what she told you it was. So whatever she says, pick up the best line, put it as
Yes.
like a headline, like the Sun do, miracle cream, uh, uh, saves my hands after 20 years of trying,
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
may be, yeah. All of a sudden, you got yourself a great advert.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking of asking her, all right, because she's a lovely lady, and
Yeah.
just I suppose it's wondering if she will be comfortable on camera.
Yeah,
But
it
hardly
depends
can.
whether she's comfortable or not. But if you just say it's just a Zoom call,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
my guess is she'll do anything for you by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was delighted. Like she says, the only thing is I can't get the camera, the pictures beforehand. She says, when I got a new camera, the left. She says, I don't have
Oh,
the old one.
you haven't got the old
I
one.
was going, darn.
No, but you might be able to Google search images of hands with the same effect, with the same problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you Google search that, and you could say, you could say picture of similar condition, yeah, and then hands after treated from that condition, like yeah. So yeah, you could do that. That would be fine as long as you explain, before artist impression or
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
whatever.
Want
Yeah,
to make, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, you should be able to do that. So I would probably use that in my marketing as well. There's some before and after images, yeah,
Yes.
with
Yeah.
the testimonial underneath and that. At the end of the day, like you say, you got to make noise. You got to be seen and heard and found over and above all these other people, all these other brands. Some of them have marketing departments, so they have
Yeah.
people like me who've been doing this for years. But they'll have like 10 of them or 20 of them
Yeah.
or whatever. Some of them outsource to people like me. Some outsource to big agencies. Whatever. They're all doing different things, and so you've got to be creative. Is how now you're online. Is how do I be creative? And
Yeah.
authenticity. What you've got on your side is you're authentic. You're Irish. You're a farmer's wife. Yeah, can't get much
Yeah.
more authentic than that. You know
No,
what I
you
mean?
can't.
You know what I mean? You got to say it how it is. And people like
Yeah.
that. They like authenticity this day and age. Before they used to like, the Hollywood,
Yeah.
style, glamour, whatever, or pretend to be this fake image of perfection or whatever. But now people like authenticity. They like what's real and the story about how you found your brand name, the story about how you created your products. That's what people want. The fact that you've got, I personally would, in your branding, I don't know what your branding looks like, I haven't seen it. I would have like the 4-leaf clover or the Irish reference within the brand somewhere. Yeah. Because obviously Esker Fields, my guess is in the fields, you'll have some clover. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have the logo has a leaf in it in there, and the tagline is "Nature inspired, made with love," and that is exactly what it is. Like they are nature inspired. They're all natural ingredients, and definitely that's even. I always say that an Esker Fields product is a gift of love you give yourself or someone you love. And that's what it is. It's kind of love packaged in a jar, in a bottle, or whatever, because they are all handmade. They're made by me, and I certainly try and put all the love and passion I have for the product in every pot, in
Yeah.
every product.
Great, yeah, and I would definitely try and weave in like the Irishness into it, right? And the
Yes,
reason
yeah,
I would do that is because the big market for what you're doing is America.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
95% of Americans claim to have some Irish heritage
yes,
along the line. Yeah,
yes,
yeah. So to me, I would think, even if you've got your normal logo and it hasn't got Irish
yes,
something
yes,
Irish in, but for the American market, I would put in, sent lovingly from Ireland or something.
yes,
With
yes,
like a clover through the middle of it or
yes,
something. So you had an
yes,
American adapted logo, yeah,
yes,
for the
yes,
American
yes,
market, and
yes,
then I would market myself heavily in America, yeah.
yes,
Even potentially, this is as a business strategy now.
yes.
I would potentially get a registered office in the States,
All right, okay.
yeah, which doesn't
Yeah,
cost. You can get like virtual offices. So
right,
basically, they collect your mail and send it back to you, and you pay a
right, okay.
monthly fee, yeah. And the reason I would do this is because I would get a registered office somewhere, probably like Boston or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere with his massive Irish heritage.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes, yes,
And I would put that address on my website so that all of a sudden then you get seen as an international business with
all
multiple
right,
addresses. Yeah. And you'll
yes.
start appearing higher up in the search engines in America because you'll be American business because you've got an
All
American
right,
address.
okay, yes,
Yeah.
very good, yes,
And obviously when I do all my social media, I would
yes,
set up probably European social media. So I would say something like Escafield's Ireland for your Irish local market. I would do
yes,
something like Escafield's Europe for the whole
yes,
European market because obviously Ireland's part of Europe anyway. You are
yeah,
Republic of Ireland, aren't you?
yes, I
Yeah.
am, yeah.
Tell by the fields you must have been Republic, not Northern. There's more space in the Republic than there is. But anyway, and then also, so then I would set up Escafield's USA. So I would set up 3 different social media platforms and pages. Yeah,
I
I
didn't
would
even
set.
know you could do that.
No, but you can. You can have as many as you want. In
Oh,
fact,
I
I
knew you could,
probably
but I
on
didn't know you could
Facebook.
have them, like American ones, European ones, like
Yeah,
the
but
top.
if you just call it Escafield's Island and
All
Escafield's
right,
Europe,
okay. Ah,
as
yes,
a business, if you were growing and expanding and all of a sudden you had operations in all of these places, that's what you would do.
right, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
basically, what I'm getting you to do is put in the infrastructure of what you need to do before you're there. So you,
Yes,
so you,
yes.
you work a couple of levels ahead of where you are now.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
So that's what I would do is I would set up an Escafield's Europe, an Escafield's USA, an Escafield's Ireland. I would
mm-hmm,
probably do the registered office address, etc., and then I would heavily market to the American market, like you and the
mm-hmm.
European market, and also the Irish market. Because at the end of the day, there's people everywhere need your product. So
Yes,
don't just think tunnel vision. You've
yes,
gone from just selling locally to local fairs and
yes,
markets and stuff to now being able to sell whatever you decide you want to
yes.
sell. So
Mm,
it's all in
mm,
the mind and it's in the strategy and the practical steps that you take in order to
mm,
get to wherever you want to get to. I also
mm,
wouldn't knock the market on the head because you've sold a lot there and there'll be
mm.
different buyers who buy online in the
Yeah,
market, especially when things go back a bit to normal.
yeah,
What I would probably do is find myself like an Avon lady, yeah, who
yes.
wants to do the market on your behalf,
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
pay
yeah,
her a commission of everything she sells,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah,
So that's what
yeah,
I would do, and then I would probably look for an Avon lady, yeah, who
yes,
wants to do markets, the same sort of markets in England and in
yes,
Wales and in
yes.
Scotland, yeah, and in
You're
America,
brilliant, yeah.
in Boston. Who in Boston, America, wants to add to their Avon round, yeah, or
Yes,
replace their Avon round with a load of authentic Irish products to sell to the
yes,
Boston market, like, yeah.
yes,
So
yeah.
that's how I think. It's all about, growth. It's about, okay, what are the next levels? What are the next levels? What does this look like in 3 years' time,
Mm,
5 years'
mm,
time,
mm,
10 years' time?
mm,
And if you
mm,
know what it looks like in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, 20 years' time, you can start putting the infrastructure of that in place now.
oh, yes,
Rather
yes,
than as you grow there, you're behind the curve because you have to put it in place as you're there, rather than
yes,
ahead
yes,
of the
yes,
curve.
yes,
Yeah?
yes, yes,
Whereas if you
yeah,
put it in place earlier on, you'll get there quicker.
yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
So
there's
I
the
know.
mind of possibilities there, Mike, and I'm going,
I know.
I'm a bit like the swan. I'm
Yeah.
sitting here, I'm going, yes, and then I'm going, the feet is going,
The feet are going, ooh, I know. We've had this conversation, if you like, before it was on a podcast and stuff, just in a call, didn't we? And I give you a lot of ideas then. But back then, you were going through these changes, and now these changes have happened. It's the next step, like, you know. And every time I speak to you,
and it is like, I mean, ultimately, that's my goal, to make Esker Fields a global brand.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, you know, that I suppose when I started out, I wasn't even thinking that far. You know, honest. And I've grown and developed, and I suppose I realised that my products are really, really good. And I suppose that's what's given me confidence. You know that the products are really good. They have all been tested. You know, so I've done all the things that needs to be done in order to do it. And now, you know, you're looking at other products and you're saying, well, they're not near as good as mine.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
and
that's why I want to be a global speaker, because I know I can do it. I know I have the quality. Once you know you can do it, why would you stop at local when you can go global? You know what I mean? Why deny the world? Why deny the world your product?
Yes.
You know? I don't want to deny the world my knowledge. I spent 30 years learning it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't deny the world. It's like, you know, there'll be someone out there who wants to benefit from it. So why not then? Just like with your product, there'll be people out there desperate for your product.
Yeah. Yeah. And like they are good. Do you know what I mean? I use them myself, and you know, it's on every level, you know, in terms of that you can do different things. Yes, you can do the foot cream, and it's wonderful. It's great for taking, you know, hard skin off your feet and everything. But if you're suffering from plantar fasciitis, which I did, and you have that throbbing pain in your foot and can't sleep, as soon as I would put the foot cream on, because there's peppermint and lavender, they're good for pain, and so it took the pain out, allowed me sleep. You know, so things like that. Or, you know, a lady came back to me and she says, I had a bite on my foot. I've tried everything. Put your cream on, and it, you know, it healed it. And that's what they do. So while they may just be on, you know, a pot of foot cream, it has so many different things, you know, to use. Like my nephew had shingles.
Yeah.
And he was on medication for the shingles, but the itch drove him insane. He couldn't. He was, you know, up at night trying to scratch his back on the carpet, you know, rubbing himself on the carpet. He nearly went berserk. Was in baths of water. He nothing. And I gave him the foot cream, and it took the itch off completely. So it's the products have many different uses that necessarily doesn't negate, you know, that just is called a foot cream. It has so many other things, and that's the difference, I think, between my products and others. They're healing, you know, they're healing to the skin, they're healing to the mind and to the body. Do you know what I mean? It's so much more. And I suppose that is what I need to try, that message I need to try and get out. It's just more than just
it out there, because it's no point being great products if people don't hear about it, because the only way they can buy it is if they hear about it first.
Yes.
So the first step on the road from someone not knowing you to buying from you, being a customer, the first step is hearing about you.
Yes.
And that's the step. Then it's trusting you, listening to your, you know, your case studies, your testimonials, you know, reading your packaging, liking your packaging, all those things. And at some point when they know you, they like you, and they trust you, then they'll buy from you.
Yeah. And I know once they buy from me,
that's it. Come back.
They will come back. You know, because once you use the product, my thing is to try and get people to use the products. And that's what I found when I was at their fairs or whatever. Like, I didn't do a hard sell. I didn't say, come on, here, buy my products. All I got them to do was try it.
So I got them to try it. How much are they?
The hand cream and foot cream are €12.50. So they're not that expensive. You know, the body oil is €14. The male aftershave balm, now it's lovely. Oh, Mike, you'd love it. It's gorgeous. I even got a text last night from my window cleaner who bought one of me, and like, men wouldn't be texting me to tell me. And he says, Maria, I just had to text you. It's brilliant. I love it. It's excellent. Can't recommend it highly enough. And I'm going, yes. I suppose when he's taken the time on a Sunday
Yeah, well,
afternoon
he
to
obviously
text
likes it
me.
because he wouldn't do that otherwise, like, But
No, like, whatever bit a woman texts and say this is lovely, you don't get too many mails that would be texting me now to say that they love
yeah,
the product. So I know I have, when I get people to use them, they'll come back. My
so on
problem
that,
is trying to get them to use them.
yeah. So on that, do you have a cream? Just out of curiosity, because I know the
Yes.
markets are big for this. Do you have a cream that deals with eczema and psoriasis?
Any of the products that I have, like in terms of the hand cream, obviously I can't put claims on that it'll cure any of these things
Yeah.
because you have to, like there would be a medical claim, and I can't put a medical claim on any of my products. But the fact of what their natural ingredients and the oils that I use are, like lavender, frankincense, sweet orange, and benzene are the ones in the hand. It will not irritate it, and generally, yes, it will, ease it off. Now, what I would always say, you can be, you have to test it. Every person is different, and so you'd obviously have to test to see. But it shouldn't. It should not make it worse, and generally, it will maybe ease it up because I had a burn. I burned my hand on my arm on the oven, and I had two big welts on my arm, and one was blistered.
Yeah.
And I was away on a staycation in Waterford. We went down for a few days, and I had nothing. So I only had my hand cream, put it on. It has cleared it there. I have no scars, no nothing.
Yeah, that's good. Something
So
which I
very
was
keen.
thinking might be a good strategy for you is, like with perfumes, they have those tester pots, the little tiny
Yes,
little things.
yes,
Because
yes,
if for example, you say when people use it, they'll come back,
yes,
then you might want to send them a little sample tester bit,
yes, yeah,
maybe at a small cost, just a
yes,
cost of production of whatever those
yeah,
things cost. So say it costs, like, I don't know, you can get it down to £1 or something like
yeah,
that. You could
mm,
turn around to someone and say, I'll send you a tester thing for £1
mm,
and postage and package, right?
mm,
Which means you could charge £3, right?
mm,
Which makes you make a £3 profit on that postage and
mm,
package, right? If it doesn't
mm,
cost like 50p in the post or something, you can
mm,
charge a reasonable postage and package because people
mm.
will pay for the small pot and the package sometimes just because they like some people
They're
are
afraid.
creators. They want to try lots of different creams to find which is the one that
Mm,
works.
mm,
I know I've seen lots of people like that, especially
mm,
with eczema and psoriasis and
mm.
all sorts. They'll try different ones. So, for
Yeah, and
example,
they're afraid. They're afraid. Like if
yeah,
you've very sensitive skin, they're not going to pay big money or buy a big pot if it's not going to do what it says on the
exactly.
tin, or they're afraid that it's going to make it worse. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I would suggest doing something like that, and even sending. So with that, then you might not want to keep sending people a tester pot at £12,
Yeah,
but you could quite
yeah.
happily post one in the post for £1. So you could
Mm,
charge them, little tester pots first. What you
mm,
want in your community, if you join some communities as well of people who've got
mm,
dermatological problem, any of the issues of your cream solves,
mm,
join those communities. So like
mm.
um, like you said about the shingles, yeah?
Yeah.
So join the shingles community and then put it
Mm,
on there if anyone wants some samples prior to the product, yeah?
mm,
Because we know that you'll like the product, but it's down for
mm,
you to test it first, yeah?
mm, 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 mm,
And
mm,
then so you could charge for those little samples, but you could
mm,
also then, because they're a much smaller amount, put a couple in. Like if you've seen somebody who's like, like sometimes you go onto forums and they're like, oh, can anyone recommend a cream for so and so, so and so? I've tried this, I've
mm,
tried that, I've tried the
mm,
other. None of those have worked. Can somebody recommend? You could
mm,
go on there at that point and say, well, listen, here's one I can recommend you. Yeah.
mm,
And then he might come back and go, oh, I don't know, I'm unsure, whatever. And you can say, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll charge you for a tester pot. Or if you really want to help someone sometimes, you can actually just say, listen, I'll pop one in the post for you.
mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Because
Yeah,
obviously if they use it and they like it, they'll become a repeat
yeah,
customer.
yeah,
Sometimes giving away something for a couple of pounds can be worth
yeah.
it in the
Yes,
long run.
yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
they're taking something. So it's all
yeah.
about, like you say, once you know what your product does and the things it treats, then it's about jumping in there sometimes and saying, well,
Mm,
listen, you might be going to Boots and getting this, or you might be going to, so and so and getting that, or you might be doing this, but try this one. The feedback we've had is for what you're talking about. this will really work. And then it's all about, if they like it and they prefer it to what they're already trying, then it's worthwhile investing a couple of pounds in things for that long-term relationship in that cream user,
Yes.
Just sort of how I would, sort of marketing strategies, how I would go about doing what you're doing. That's what I always do. All of my advice is always given with a disclaimer of, it's not what I'm telling people to do, it's just what I would do in that situation. And my strategy, because unless you've been through these sort of strategies before, they're not in your mind. So when they come out of my mind instantly, because I think about, okay, what would I be doing in this situation? How would I go about things? And so they're always the way I would go about things based on my experience of running sales teams and, all that sort of thing. It's all about target marketing, vertical marketing, like you said about packaging as well, and your prices, but getting that right. There's a lot that goes into it for you to hit that, what I would call the perfect storm. The perfect storm being the right product at the right price, aimed at the right people for the right reasons. Once you've got that perfect storm and everything is right, then that's how a business takes off.
And
that's where you're developing. You're going through that process at the moment of, improving things and pivoting a bit and repackaging, rebranding, all that sort of stuff. Because sometimes you make choices and you're not like it's a bit like when you're walking, you can see the horizons. You're thinking, okay, I can see the road to the horizon. I'll follow the road. And as you get close to the horizon, you see there's a river. So you have to reset your plan then, because you've never seen the river before. And then you think, okay, I have to find a boat from somewhere. And then you get across the river and you see another horizon. There's a big mountain. And there's different challenges that you see, because you can only see as far as you see.
Yes, that's right.
Myself, who've come from like a fast growth business and stuff, is I can see into the future when other people can't see into the future, because they.
And also too, when you're making your own products or you're doing your own business, sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees because you're so much focused on the day to day that you don't see the bigger picture because you're so embroiled in the day to day. And sometimes it's lovely to talk to someone else that is not emotionally involved in the products, because absolutely you are emotionally involved in the product, whether because you're making them. So sometimes you need someone from an outside perspective to come in and say, look, will you do this? And you don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm a big sports fan, and it's a bit like if you're on the pitch playing rugby, So you like rugby? You're Irish, most Irish.
Oh yeah, we'd watch it. Yeah. I'm in a house full of men. I have 3 sons. And husband, so
and they're farmers as well, so they're a bit action, so they like the ball and a bit of
like any kind of sports, where golf, rugby, GAA, football, the whole lot. So they're very happy.
So like when you're on the rugby pitch, for example, and you're in a position, somebody throws the ball to you, all you can see is the guy on the left of you throwing the ball and the guy on the right of you, you're throwing the ball to. And you can see the opposition running at you. If you're high up in the stands, you can see the whole line, you can see the whole other line, and you can actually see where the gaps are in the line. Sometimes, for example, you're getting the ball and all you can see is someone running at you, and you're like, I'm going to throw to the left, I'm going to throw to the right. Whereas from the stand, looking over the game, you can see actually the right thing to do was the back line behind that guy running at you had gone. They'd gone to the wing or somewhere. So you should have just chipped the ball over into the space. And allowed the ball to bounce, pick it up, and go and score a try. That's how you can see different moves, if you like, from above looking over, than you can when you're face to face with someone running at you. It's a very different perspective. It's a very different vision and view. That's what I always try and explain to other people. So I'm a big strategist. I'm big into chess and rugby and all sports. I played every sport under the sun pretty much when I was a kid, and all sports about strategy. All coaching is about strategy and tactics. Business is about strategy and tactics. And if you can actually take yourself out of that position on the pitch where all you can see is left and right and someone running at you, and you can put yourself up into the stands. So you buy yourself a ticket and you go and sit up in the gods, and you look over the game, which is why they encourage business people to take themselves out of their business for a day or a week or whatever and work on the strategy of their business. They put themselves in the stand and they start looking over the game rather than being in it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's where, you can see more clearly and come up with different strategies and stuff because you're looking at it from a different angle.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, and it is, just looking at it from a different angle, and not putting your own limitations on it, because sometimes you might have a great idea and then you talk yourself out.
Yeah, definitely.
You
Or
talk
actually,
yourself out of it.
you were lucky because you could have gone to that event, not sold it, and it just could have been a bad day, and then you could have written it off. But you
Yes.
actually sold it, which gave you the confidence to keep going.
Yes.
And a
Yes.
lot of people do give up, and there may be another rainy day at an event in a metaphor. Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be
Yeah.
another metaphor of that situation that may
Yeah.
not come off.
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
time, you're a farmer's wife, so you will dig in and not
Yeah.
allow that to affect you.
Mm.
But so many people do. And
Mm.
that's why 90% of businesses fail in the first 5
Yeah.
years, because they turn up on a rainy day and no one's there and they lose heart.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then, I realized then, I had another date where I went lately, I went to a fair, but I realized it was the wrong fair for me to be at, because it was a Hungarian fair, but and I didn't realize there was even as many Hungarian people in Ireland, and they were lovely, but they were into buying their food and their their Hungarian cakes, and that's what they came for. They didn't come for me, so it didn't matter what I said. Like, I wasn't going to sell anything there.
No.
And I realized, well, that was the wrong place.
It's like when you go fishing in a river and there's no fish in there, you're not going to catch a fish.
Yeah, and also I'm getting a lot more frugal in terms of, where I place my stand, like that. Again, had done another fair at Christmas last year, but I was the very last stand that you had to go up 2 rooms, up the stairs and 2 rooms, and I was the very, very last stand.
Yeah.
So by the time people got to me, they had no money left. They had bought it, so it didn't matter. So now I'm very clear that if I go, like a couple of weeks later, I had been in another fair and it was meant to be outdoors. We had stormy weather that day, and it was designed to bring them into a shopping centre. It was meant to be outside. It was meant to be a whole Christmas, weekend market, and but I was very clear that I wasn't going upstairs. No. It was an empty lot, and I remember saying, if that's the case, I'm not going. No. I'll put down my money. There's no point in me staying 3 days there. So I kept my, stand, and I just kept being quietly saying, no, can I just have here? There's a special fair. Look, it's blank. Can I have it there? So eventually I got there. Yeah. And the people that went upstairs, they sold nothing that day. They actually had to come down the next day because I knew I had the experience of the previous week of being in a bad stand. So I know that no matter how good your products is, if you're not in the right marketplace, if you're not visible, if you're not in the, if you're not at the right fair, or you're not in the right position within the fair or the marketplace, because the fair is really just the same as the marketplace. Yeah. So if I don't position myself properly in the marketplace, then no one is going to buy my products.
And that is exactly, that is the benefit of experience. Yes. That is exactly why a lot of people, they don't understand that Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all these places are marketplaces.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to learn the same tactics, if you like. Yes. As you do in the real world,
Yeah.
Where do I put my stand? What does my stand look like? What does the pricing have to be?
Yes.
In metaphorical terms, but it's the same process, no matter what, you can do everything in life to anywhere between 10% or 1% really and 100%. Everything that you do. And sometimes when you first do something, you're only at 20 or 30. Then you get to 40 and 50. And you get to 70. Some people never get beyond 70. If you keep learning,
and then you make mistakes and you learn from your mistakes, and so it's I was very clear when I came to do my website. I had another website. I made mistakes in it. I had to start again. And I was very, very clear about what I wanted in this time, and because I knew what I wanted, and I had a kind of a vision for what I want, it was very easy then to not settle.
To produce
It was,
that, isn't it? As somebody who creates those sort of things, when you got somebody who they come to you and they don't know what they want,
yeah,
there's so many things you can do, yeah, but because they don't explain what they want, you end up doing, a version of something that they might want, and then sometimes they realize down the line it's not what they wanted.
no, and it, so like even things like even how the aesthetics of the website, it's different things, and the the designer that she's lovely, that made it for me, she's brilliant, and I was like that. I was on holidays when she down in Waterford when she says, "Do you want to go live?" And I went, "No, I need to see it. I need to see it before it goes live." And so Julie came home the next day and I says, "I'll send you changes." And I had 13 pages of changes. And it was simple things, but she came back and she says, "Maria, you were dead right." Because the simple things of just changing the aesthetic lifted the whole thing up, lifted the whole products up. And she says, "I have to say, you were dead right." And it's because I know my product. Yeah. I know what the vision I have for it. Yeah. And it's not settling, and I think that's what I've learned in the last 2 years, that you have to have a vision for what you want. You have to have a vision where you're going or what you want. Yeah. And then once you've that in your mind, that's your goal. That's what you need to achieve. And then this is just what do I need to do that, and what do I need to do in order to achieve that goal. So one of the first things was, getting the website, getting the branding, right, have that now. So next thing is, how do I drive sales? How do I drive traffic towards it? How do I get to be outside of Ireland, nationally, internationally, and globally? How do I do it? And it's just steps along the way of doing that. But you have to have the vision for what you want. You have to have that you're working towards that. And I suppose
I started, with the end point in mind to become a global speaker, and now I'm just doing the activities that I see on a daily basis that need to be done to get there. And if you start off with, okay, I want to be a global brand, how do I become a global brand? Well, I've got to have operations in the UK. I've got to have a footprint in the UK. I've got to have a footprint in Europe. I've got to have a footprint in America, the biggest economy that speaks English. I've got to have a footprint in China, because they spend money as well, and there's big populations. So it's like, how do I reach these people? And then it's okay, I need some pages, I need some social media, I need some SEO. There's all these different tools then. Once you start with the end point in mind,
yes,
back to what do I need to implement?
To do now. Yeah, and what can I do now? Like, what is one step I can do now? And I always, as Pat would say, about, he always tells a story about someone selling flowers, and how someone was painting I think was washing the floors, and says, "Well, does that help you sell flowers?" So I keep saying, what activities am I doing today? Is that actually selling my products? Yeah. I mean, and it's keeping that in mind. It's keeping that in mind. Are the activities you're doing going to help you sell products or whatever it is? Help you be
on my mission, whatever that mission is it helping me? And so you've given your website as well. If people are interested in connecting with you in other ways, what sort of forms and ways have you got to go through a few of those ways of connecting?
Well, I have the Eskerfields Facebook page. I am on Twitter, Essential Healing on Twitter. My email is maria@eskerfields.ie.
Yeah.
And they can message me on Facebook either. I'm Maria Morgan, and I'm on Facebook. So you can contact me in any which way there. But I suppose look at the website, eskerfields.ie. What you get there is not all details of all the products, but actually, like me, there's videos there showing me how I make the products, and where I'm from, where I'm coming from, so that you actually see where I'm coming from and how the name, because you actually see all the fields, you'll see where I'm from and where we're making them. So there's a load of information on the website, I would have to say, for people. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a YouTube channel where you've uploaded those videos into?
No, I had you're talking now. This is when you're saying to me, YouTube channel, and I says that's no problem. I have no problem getting on camera. I have no problem talking. I could talk. I'm Irish. I could talk all day.
Exactly. So
And
all you got to do is
particularly when
create
I'm
an account.
passionate, I don't know.
Yeah. So all you got to do is create an account. So go to YouTube,
Yeah.
create an account, and then there's a button in there that says video upload. Yeah. And a little screen
Right.
comes up where it says upload the file or drop it in. So all you do is
Yes.
go to your computer, grab the file, drag it to the upload, and it
Yes.
uploads. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll try that, because
Yeah.
that is actually something I was going to do, is actually going with the products and actually starting to talk
Yeah.
about them, because there's no one can talk about them like I can, because I
No.
love them.
Yes,
Absolutely
exactly,
love
and
them.
you're passionate about it, you know.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
all those videos you've already got on your website, stick them into YouTube, put them under descriptions, good keyword descriptions of what the product
Right.
is. You know, so
Okay.
foot cream, or
Yeah.
bathing shaving cream, men's,
Mm.
holistic men's shaving cream, all those different words
Mm.
put up for each video, yeah, or words about natural, holistic,
Mm.
Irish
Mm.
beauty products or whatever. Look at
Mm. Mm.
the
Mm.
good
Mm.
keyword descriptions that describe what you're doing. Like, yeah,
Mm. Mm.
upload
Mm.
the
Mm.
videos onto that then with things like how you make them and that. Put them into like how-to videos. So in
Yes.
YouTube, we have like how-to videos, which is
Yes.
educational videos. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how to make foot cream, how to make
Yes.
that sort of stuff, because then you're educating other people to be able to do similar sort of things. And a
Mm.
lot of the
Mm.
time, you're advertising to yourself that people are interested in that subject matter, but sometimes they're like, well, actually, rather than doing it myself, I'll just buy yours. You
Yes.
know,
Yes. Yeah.
out to
Yeah.
different marketplaces, like.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I would suggest that you do as well, because my guess is the answer to this may be no, because you're
Mm.
a farmer's wife and you probably haven't needed to until now. But are you on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn, but I don't do anything
You
with
don't
it.
do anything with it. So I was sort of right.
Absolutely.
I was
I,
sort of
I,
right.
I'm on it, and I, at this stage, I probably even forget my password. But
Yeah.
I haven't done anything at all.
But yeah, because obviously farmers wouldn't have a need for LinkedIn. A farmer's wife wouldn't so much. But as a business person, LinkedIn is a
Yeah.
business platform. It's a social media account for
Mm.
business people. Now,
Mm.
you're not selling to businesses, you're selling to consumers, yeah?
Mm.
But
Mm.
there's a whole world in business that can help you. For
Mm.
example, things like distributors, things like, Irish magazines, holistic people,
Mm.
people who
Mm.
want to talk about your product, so you
Mm.
go on LinkedIn to connect with other business people.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And if
Mm.
I was you,
Mm.
I'd be connecting with on LinkedIn people like people in the holistic health space, because there are
Yes.
people, for example, who've got spas now. They may want to retail your product.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
So anyone who's got shared interests, like
Yes.
yeah, those Ann
Yeah.
Summers, not Ann Summers, Avon people,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
you know,
Yes. Yes.
any people like that, because obviously Avon is beauty products. They used to talking about beauty products, etc.
Mm.
They
Mm.
might want to. Some people are
I
not.
didn't even know they're still about. Are they still on?
Yeah, they
Is
still
Avon
they
still?
still exist. Yeah,
Yeah.
so, and there's lots of those type of people. People
Mm.
who are used to going to shows and having parties or whatever it may be. You want to reach out, just connect with as many people as you can who are going to help you. People who write holistic magazines.
Mm.
People
Mm.
who do
Mm.
podcasts.
Yes.
Holistic,
Yes.
and anyone who can help you reach the audience you want to reach.
Yes.
Connect
Yes.
with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
get active on
There's
LinkedIn.
plenty of room for me to do and homework for me to do, Mike.
Well, yeah, exactly. There's a few more steps for you to go, and
Yeah.
next time we speak, then there'll be some more steps again. So
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
are always steps. It's an enjoyable journey, and the good thing is there's always more steps you can take. So you never
Mm.
rest on your laurels. You get comfortable doing what you're doing, and once you're comfortable, you think, okay, what's the next step?
What's the next step? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
And that's it. It's trying to
that's
get
how
it
you
going
become
now.
global.
Yeah. One step at a time, isn't
One
it?
step at a time, exactly. It doesn't take a lot.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of steps.
Yes.
Yeah, but one step's not a lot, is it? Taking
No.
a step a day is not a lot, really. One step a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Because you
So
walk around
I
the
might get
world.
videoing now.
Yes. Good luck with it. And like you say, a lot of people are frightened of the camera, so they've got to get comfortable with it. But you're already comfortable with that bit.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
similar to me. I wasn't that comfortable in front of a camera and a podcast, but it didn't take me long to get comfortable.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
again,
I've been used to, like, my background is I was working in adult education for 20 years.
oh, yeah,
So I
so
was always used to talking to people,
yeah, it
and
used to be in
you know,
front of
so
people.
yeah, so it doesn't really bother me to chat and talk to people. And as I say, the Irish are good talkers.
My nan was from Dublin, and she was
All
the
right.
best talker I've ever known. And
That's
I
what I mean.
off
The Irish are good
my
talkers.
grandson, but yeah, it's part of the Irish thing, and I've spent my life talking, which is why when I started my podcast and YouTube channel, I wasn't comfortable because I never talked in front of a camera or just to myself. Sometimes I always talk to other people, but it's not a big step. Because you're used to talking, and if you're passionate about your product, in my case, I'm my product, so I can't be more passionate about
yourself. Yeah, if you're not going to be passionate about yourself, no one else is going to be.
So, and with you, you're passionate about your products. They're handmade. You've handcrafted them. So there's no one better to talk about your products than you. So just get talking to people about it. People will love your energy, your enthusiasm, and the fact that your products help.
Yes.
So the more you can put it in as many places as possible, the more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a place on Facebook, because I know you do use Facebook, because everyone in the Expanded Network uses Facebook. That's the one you're more proactive with. There's a group on there I think it's called Podcaster Community or something like that.
All right. Okay.
If you have a look for hashtag find a guest.
Oh, okay.
Or hashtag be a guest.
Okay, yes.
And whatever the podcast community is, you'll find the content. I think it's called like Podcast Connections or something like that, right? But it's hashtag be a guest or find a guest.
Yeah.
And what you want to do is be a guest on as many holistic health podcasts as possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can talk to them about, your testimonials, the case studies, the healing the products do, all those sort of things. And obviously at the end, they'll give you a plug, to give you a web address and all of that. And they are talking to your community of people. If, for example, you found what was it? The cream you said it healed, beginning with S.
The moisturising hand cream.
Shingles.
Oh, shingles. Yeah.
Go on a shingles podcast and talk to them about your shingles cream. Go on a foot podcast or something about what are they?
Dermatitis or whatever. Dermatitis. Yeah.
What do they call it?
Dermatitis, and
the people with your feet, the doctors that deal with your feet.
Oh yeah, podiatrist, is it?
Podiatrist, yeah. So you find a podcast for a podiatrist, yeah. And talk to them, and then they might want to be a reseller for you.
Yes.
So it's about just thinking a little bit strategically. Who are the people that are communicating to my people?
Yes.
And how do I engage with them?
Yeah. Very good. Thank you so much, Mike. You've been very helpful.
At all. Yeah. So thanks for coming on the podcast and sharing your exciting journey to my audience. There'll obviously be some new people there that won't know you, so that you're always reaching out and growing and being found by more people. And I'll put this episode in my podcast and YouTube channel. Right. I'll probably put a link to your website, actually.
Yeah, do put a link to my website. Absolutely, that would be fantastic. And I look forward to maybe connecting with your viewers and your listeners, and maybe sending lovely Eskerfield products over to Wales, sunny Wales as it is.
Wales, or the UK, or the world.
The UK and the world. The world. Yes.
Brilliant. All right, then. Have a great day.
Okay. And you too. Take care.
All the best. Bye-bye. Right. Nothing else left for me to say now other than have a great day. I know I will. And thanks very much for listening. Cheers. Bye-bye.